Hello, welcome to everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 13th, and this is Explore Tech Careers Training, where we talk about what are some of the different training programs that helps a person get into the tech industry in Minnesota. So, this whole month of April, we're talking about technology, getting jobs in technology, technology workforce apply positions. And I want to make sure that you all know about this subpage on careerforcemn.com/tech month. We have a lot of resources on that page, and I want to make sure that all of you go to that page at some point, not while I'm talking, but after this afternoon, and there's a lot more there that you can explore. So if you look down sort of in the bottom, this is a screenshot of the page that I put in. There's a click for virtual events, so more events that are taking place the rest of the month. There are blogs. There are a couple of information sheets. And there's a link to job postings that we have through CareerForce MN. One of the links that leads you to a list. The list is called Short-Term Information Technology Training Providers. It's 2 pages, and it's all of the training providers in the region that have collaborated with DEED on career pathways and training programs. The ones that are mentioned in here, there's contact information, telephone numbers, URLs, a little tiny bit of information about it. Things like CompTIA Tech, Creating IT Futures, Goodwill Easter Seals, Hawk Ridge Systems, the Min-State System, MinSkew, IT Career Lab, who we heard from last week at this time, New Horizons, Prime Digital Academy, Dakota, U of M boot camps, Watermark Learning, Climb Hire, and MSP Tech Hire. Next week, April 20th, U of M Bootcamp and Climb Hire will be joining us to talk about their programs. And today, CompTIA Tech will be here to talk about theirs. But the other resource sheet on this that I do want you to open up, download, is the Exploring IT Careers fact sheet. And this sheet has a lot of labor market data about the growth of the tech industry in Minnesota, how different salaries compare, kind of what the expected forecast for jobs is over the next 5 to 10 years. So I really encourage all of you to go to that and look for that information. And again, you can find all of this information in the CareerForce MN Tech Month. But the other thing I want to just have you do as we're getting started here, some of you have already filled this out, just fill it out once. But I've taken a little poll. Who's on the call? What do you need from CareerForce to help you find a job? Do you need training? Do you need more career leads, job openings? So if you've already done it, don't do it again. But I ask that everyone fill it out once today. Thank you. So let's get to know who's on the call today. We'll hear from CompTIA Tech Career Academy, Dreamcore Tech, which is a program with Target Corporation, so both of them will be presenting together, C.H. Robinson, and then I'll be letting you know about other CareerForce resources. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Sue Wallace, VP of Alumni Services and Community Engagement for CompTIA Tech. She's going to give us an overview of the industry and a little bit about what CompTIA does in their training programs. Hello, Sue.
Hi, Liz. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak today. I am Sue Wallace, Vice President of Alumni Services and Community Engagement for CompTIA Tech Career Academy. And Liz, if you could go to the next slide for me, that'd be great. So CompTIA Tech is part of the CompTIA umbrella of organizations. And if you're not familiar with CompTIA, CompTIA is a global tech trade association. And in addition to the information that Liz was talking about out on the Career Force website, CompTIA has a lot of industry information. You go out to connect.comptia.org to find out more information. Or we also have a website that has industry information on the workforce in the tech workforce, which is the cyberstates.org URL that you see down at the bottom of this slide. But regardless of where you're getting the information, I'm pretty sure it's going to tell you that tech is a great place to be right now. Overall, there are about 600,000 open tech jobs nationally. And here in Minnesota, there's about tech roles make up a little over 8% of the Minnesota workforce. Last year, everyone knows, was not such a great year for employment, but nationally, the industry held pretty steady. Instead of losing millions of jobs like some of the other industries did. Minnesota, we lost a little bit, but both here in Minnesota and nationally, we're rebounding and projecting growth. In addition to demand, the wages remain really good in tech as well. So if you look at jobs nationally, they're paying about 122% of the average wage nationally. And if you look at this slide, in Minnesota, wages in tech roles are about 73% higher than the median state wage. So easy for me to say, two key ingredients there, both the demand in the tech industry and the wages make tech a really good place to be right now if you're looking to get into the industry. So next slide, please. If you're not in the industry right now, how do we get you into the industry? And that's where CompTIA Tech Career Academy can help out. So what CompTIA Tech does is we help individuals with little to no background in IT. You don't have to have that expertise. You don't have to have that experience. We provide technical and soft skills, certification and connection to employers to help you launch your career in tech. Next slide, please. So there are 4 different main components on how we get individuals into and through our training program. We start off, the number 1 is assessment or our admissions process. And I'll get into that a little bit more in depth in a following slide. But after we get through the admissions process, there's the actual training component. Right now, we have 2 different options for that. There's an online 16-week training that we're doing. And hopefully pretty soon, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to get back into the classroom and do a face-to-face, slightly more condensed 8-week version that would be full-time. So after the classroom training piece, the 3rd piece of our program is certification. So it's not just learning the information, but also obtaining that certification. And I'm talking about an industry recognized credential that's going to help prove that you have those competencies in the technology industry to land a career. And then the 4th piece is we don't just get you through the training and get you the certification, and in there, we have a career services team that works with individuals that have graduated, certified through our program, and we connect them to local employers that have job openings. Next slide, please. So right now we're recruiting for 3 classes. And as you can see on this slide, the first 2 classes, there's an evening class starting May 17th and a morning class that's starting June 28th. Those 2 classes are online only. They're 16 weeks long, they're part-time. And then again, with fingers crossed, we're going to start taking applications in June for a face-to-face version of the class. And that is a full-time 8-week class. That's Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So the application process is really pretty basic. You go out to our website, which is CompTIATech.org. You can see that right below the picture on the bottom right-hand side of the slide there. You go out to our website and there's a link for campuses. You choose which campus you want, either the Minnesota for the face-to-face version or the online campus. There's an apply button on that page and you go through the application, the online application process. It takes about 10 minutes to go through that. The next step would be you would get a link for an online assessment. The online assessment's really like an aptitude assessment. It takes about 40 minutes to go through. We recommend that you find a nice quiet place where you can go through that uninterrupted. Once we get the results from that, those people who are successful go on to schedule an interview with one of our admissions team. That's about a 30-minute interview. It's video interview. And that's an opportunity to have your questions answered, or our admissions staff to go through and ask for some clarification on your application. And really for you to give us an understanding of why you're interested in the program, why you're interested in getting a job in tech. Who's eligible? So we're looking for individuals who are 18 years or older. We're looking for individuals who they have a high school diploma or a GED or equivalent. And those people who have documentation that they are authorized to work in the US, either you're a citizen or you've got some kind of an authorization. Again, because we have that career services component at the end, we want you to get that job. We're looking for people who really are just motivated and committed to the training and committed to the process. You don't need a lot of background or expertise in IT. We need people who have a basic user level experience with computers, who can navigate in a Windows environment. Next slide, please. So we're looking for people from a variety of different backgrounds. Again, you don't need to have that a lot of expertise in the IT industry. We're looking for people who either maybe you're a recent high school grad, or you've had a career in another area, but you really have a passion for IT and you want to change careers and get into IT. We have seen people who have been coffee baristas, pizza delivery drivers. We've seen opera singers all switch over and get into IT and have successful careers there. Our program gives you both the technical training and the soft skill training to get into the roles. We also help facilitate access to that certification that proves you have the competencies to be successful on the job. We're training you toward the CompTIA A+ certification, which is one of the most highly requested certifications for a help desk or entry-level tech support role. And it's globally recognized. So it's not just recognized here in the state, it's recognized in every state. It's also recognized in other countries. It also, even though it's great to get that foot in the door as an entry-level tech support or help desk role, it's also a great foundational certification that will give you a solid base to go in any of the 4 pillars in the tech industry, whether that's infrastructure, software development, security, or data. Whatever area that you find an interest in, this is a good, solid way to get into the industry. And it looks like there's a question here about older workers, and I'll address that in just a couple of minutes, because I think that's a great question. But if I can get to the next slide, please. I wanted to give you just a quick example of someone who successfully went through our program. This is Theo. Theo went through our program back in 2013. He's one of the 2,000 graduates that we've had so far from our program. He was bouncing around in community college, couldn't get a strong foothold anywhere. He came across our IT Ready Technical Support Program and successfully completed the program, got his certification, worked with our career services team to land a job in the tech industry. It was an entry-level position, and now 8 years later, he's making six figures as an IT security analyst. And very excited about what he's doing. So next slide, please. I've gotten through a lot of information really quickly. There is more. I wanted to have the CompTIATech.org URL there. So if you have more questions, you can go out and look. There's also my personal email address. Feel free to reach out to me if we don't get to all of your questions. But it looks like somebody did put in a question into the chat to me, wanting to know about older workers breaking into the tech field. Definitely, we see older workers, the average age of people going through our program is somewhere between 32 and 34. But we definitely have seen people in their 50s and 60s go through our program and be successful. It's really about, in technology, it's really about what you're able to do, what you know and what you're able to do. And often we see employers that are looking for people who have life experience and have some of those transferable skills that they can really tie closely together with the technical expertise. So I think that if you're somebody who's been in a different field and you're able to bring over those experiences, those soft skills, those life experiences, that's really complementary to the technical skills that you can provide.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for this information. And to all of you on the call, you are sending a whole bunch of really great questions. So I'm going to try to do my best to wrap in questions as we come along. But I want to keep it moving as well. And so I'm going to welcome Megan Kirk, Talent Acquisition with C.H. Robinson. But you know what, Megan, I am going to even give you a question that came in the past 5 minutes about industry recognized certifications. Who do you look for? Who does C.H. Robinson look for when hiring people with, University of Michigan certificates, Coursera, programs? So you don't have to answer it right away, but let's welcome Megan Kirk of C.H. Robinson.
Yeah, great question. I'll be sure to address that. I'll just give a brief background on C.H. Robinson first, and then I'll make sure and keep me honest, Liz, to make sure I do answer that. But thanks everyone for having me. My name, as Liz mentioned, is Megan Kirk, and I am one of our talent acquisition managers at C.H. Robinson. So for those of you who are not familiar with C.H. Robinson, we are a global provider of transportation and logistics services. And yeah, Liz, can you go to the next slide for me? It'll just be a helpful overview. So this is really just a brief snapshot of who we are. So we are publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and we have around 15,000 employees around the world. About 9,000 of them are located in the United States, and our global headquarters are in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And that's where the majority of our technology professionals are located. So we have about 1,000 employees in technology, and about 700 of them are located in Eden Prairie. So like I said, global provider of supply chain and logistics services. To break that down, we do not own any modes of transportation. So we don't own any trucks, trains, planes, vessels. We're strictly a third-party broker. So what that means is our customers will reach out to us and say, we need X number of PP&E delivered to X number of stores by this date. And we'll go and we'll take that request. We'll work with our carrier partners who own the modes of transportation to execute on that request and make that work. So we've had a huge hand in the last 12 months in the recovery through the global pandemic and helping continue the supply chain. As you can all imagine, it has been quite the last 12 months in logistics and transportation. We've had some of our highest highs and some pretty low lows early on in the pandemic. So if you could go to the next slide for me, Liz. Our technology. So I told you all, what C.H. Robinson does, the services that we provide, but that's all powered by our global supply chain platform called Navisphere. So Navisphere is it's homegrown, meaning it does not sit on top of another third-party ERP. It is a mini ERP, and it's got transportation management system capabilities in there. So we've got around 400 software engineers that are supporting development of Navisphere every day. And this is connecting our customers to our carrier partners and helping provide a lot more visibility to their supply chains. As you can all imagine, and as consumers, you've all witnessed the frustrations of trying to figure out where your packages are. And so Navisphere is really meant to provide a lot more visibility, there's a lot of machine learning embedded in it to predict where truck drivers are going to be in 7 days from now so that we can secure loads on those trucks. There are weather predictions that are built in there to help our drivers and other forms of transportation reroute their shipments automatically to avoid weather and also global events. So that is an overview of Navisphere. And then if you want to do one more, Liz, as far as training, so I know that a big topic of this session is training, and training within technology is so important. I can barely keep up with the new languages that come out and that are ever changing. And so it's so important if you're going to be in the technology industry to make sure you join an employer that has solid internal training programs. And so here are a few that we have at C.H. Robinson. On the top left, you'll see the hatchery. The hatchery is our, it's designed for entry-level software engineers and engineering product managers. And majority of the time they are, not always, but they are coming from their four-year undergrad degree, or we have seen plenty of people that have come from boot camp, but they usually have about a year of professional experience at maybe a smaller organization, and maybe they're following loose agile practices, but they're really ready to get to be part of a more traditional, well-engined, larger engineering team. So it's a 12-month onboarding program. Every week you're learning a new technology. So it's not to train someone on how to be an engineer. The idea is that you're coming with that fundamental knowledge. The idea is that you're learning about the technologies that we use at C.H. Robinson. So for example, 1 week is all going to be about React. The next week could all be about .NET Core. So we really dive deep so that once you're done with that 12-month, you're placed on a team and you're ready to roll. We also have expanded the hatchery so that our experienced professionals can go through it, because as you all know, those technologies are changing so quickly that we wanted our current engineers and product managers to be able to go through week by week. So they're not going through the formal 12-month, but they can jump in to a week that they need to learn more about. We have knowledge forums where we're connecting each other and learning from each other. We have annual internal conferences. We've got our Hackamania conference, and we host like iHeart Security Day. So we completely shut down all of engineering for a day, and everyone is working through uncovering bugs, and there's a whole challenge related to it. And then we have an engineering blog. So we have a very passionate group of people internally that like to share what they've learned. And so they, and this is actually external facing, it's engineering.chrobinson.com, where they will share lessons learned in hopes to expand their learnings and share with other people. That is all that I had prepared. So as far as what Liz had shared, I did kind of briefly mention that we absolutely do look at individuals from a variety of different backgrounds. It is unique to each position. Not all positions do you need experience for. The entry level positions, we do typically post them starting in September, and we'll post them for about a month in September and then about a month in February, because we do get a lot of interest. And so we want to make sure we facilitate a good candidate experience by not having those requisitions open for too long, and then your application sits there for a long time and you don't hear back. So we try to eliminate that. So we do look for individuals from various boot camps. It is, and then as far as other certifications go, they're unique to the position. So some will require some security certifications, and things like that. I'm trying to think. Has there been any other questions? I can also answer
Are
these,
there,
Liz, if you want me to do it
yeah.
just directly.
Well, the one question was, one person had taken a couple of courses through Coursera, online.
Yeah.
Um, so University of Michigan certificates in computer programming. Do those hold weight? Is there industry recognition for, like online Coursera types of programs or even LinkedIn Learning?
I think it's less about the actual certification in hand and how you use the knowledge that you built from that in an interview setting. And so I think it's about sharing what you've learned and gained from that, and then showing how you understand how that can be applied to real world situations. So it's less about just doing that course and putting it on your resume, and more about, okay, you took this course on Kafka. Now, did you go build, an API using Kafka? Like, do you understand how that works in the bigger picture of, an engineering system, and how to deploy that and think about scale and security? So I think it's less about just getting that and checking the box, and more about taking that to the next step to show an employer how you will actually use that to benefit the job. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And related to that, then, how do you want people to present their portfolio? Do you want, should they have, like something that they've built on GitHub, or
Yes.
how do you prefer viewing that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's super helpful to have it be open source, so that you know um, we can have our technical assessors be reviewing that. I personally, unfortunately, cannot go in and assess someone's GitHub, but I certainly do have a team of engineers that are helping with our hiring that will go in and be curious about their portfolio. And then I would, be ready to back that up. So you built this, but then can you really walk us through it and explain it? That's what's going to be important.
Great. Thank you. And thank you so much for
Yeah.
presenting C.H. Robinson's, training opportunities, your programs. All of that information is helpful. I posted your jobs.chrobinson.com in the chat. So people should go, along there and be sure to take a look at that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, Folks, I'm just going to remind you, I'm going to put that poll. Remember, those of you who've already taken it, don't take it. But if there's anyone who has not taken the poll yet, I'd love to find out a little bit more about who's on the call. But now we're going to move on, and I'm pleased to introduce Kashif Wizard, National Programming Initiatives Director for Dreamcore Tech. He's going to talk about the program that they've started with Target Corporation. So, Kashif, are you there?
Hi, Liz. I am. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. It's hard to keep up nowadays, but I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Kashif Wizard. I'm the National Programming Initiatives Director for Dreamcore Tech. And Dreamcore Tech was actually founded in 2014. It was founded by the late Prince, which that makes this market especially important to me and to our organization. And it was also founded by Van Jones. So it was founded following the Trayvon Martin murder and the verdict that came out. So, like many people in this country, Van was challenged by that verdict, and Prince being a close mentor and friend of his, of course, Van, like many, had thoughts regarding why Trayvon was shot, and the prejudices of around BIPOC or Black males, wearing hoodies, and Prince challenged him and said, you know what, maybe we're not creating enough Mark Zuckerbergs in our community. And it was that challenge that led to the founding of Yes We Code, which is now Dreamcore Tech 7 years later. So just want to give you that origin story as to how Dreamcore Tech, formerly Yes We Code, was founded. And again, one of the founders is yours truly, the late Prince. You can move to the next slide. And actually, at this point, I'm going to have my partner in crime, Adila Jordan, speak to Dreamcore Tech's mission and also tech. It's actually an acronym for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Kashif. So Dreamcore Tech, as you know, is formerly known as Yes We Code. So we are a national program. We are cultivating the future of leaders and entrepreneurs from unprecedented backgrounds, creating a pipeline of diverse talent that will ultimately shift the culture of the tech sector. Next slide, please. So we believe that there are 4 key components that we implement to help shift the culture of the tech sector. And as Kashif mentioned, it is our acronym for tech. And so T, we train. So we provide technical and soft skills training to untapped talent from unprecedented communities to secure job placement with our corporate partners in a tech field related position. E, we engage. And so we offer resources and tools for connection and education and professional maturation that come from various modalities of media and technology. C, we change. And so what we do here is that we construct and influence policy at both a state and federal level to undergird the equitable work that we're currently doing for inclusivity in the tech industry. And last but not least, something that is very near and dear to us, and that is to truly humanize. And by humanizing, we inject soul in the conversation, in the tech conversation. And we do that by truly highlighting the diversity and equity needed through storytelling. And we know that this is very critical to the masses and what is going on in tech and society today.
Thank you for that, EJ. I also just want to highlight that this is why it's been great to partner with Target Corporation as they align with us in shifting or getting people to reimagine how we look at tech. So we can move forward, and then we'll actually dive into our program details and speak to how we select the talent and just the touch points and all that we built into the program. So we, like some of the partners or entities out there today have spoke to, we provide both technical and what we call foundational skills training to our participants. So not only do we want to ensure that they're technically capable by the end of the training, but that we provide them holistic training and help them, stand tall by the end of this training. So our foundational skills training include subject matter such as imposter syndrome, STEM mindset, financial literacy. We touch on it all. The components of our program, we actually source and recruit the talent, and that's within a window of basically about 4 to 6 weeks of actual recruiting. And it's a 5-touch interview process that not only it includes a technical assessment on the front end, a video interview, submission on the front end, a technical assessment, a post-technical assessment to give applicants the opportunity to speak qualitatively as to why they've answered and answered questions the way that they did, and then a final interview. So just to give you details about the interview process, it's free to our participants. We also provide a biweekly stipend during the duration of the training to help participants mitigate, any challenges that arise during that 8 to 10 weeks. So this is a 9 to 5 full-time commitment, Monday through Friday. And given that, it's really hard to do anything else. You have to, really give your all and put some skin in the game. So we do our best to support our participants with the stipend. We receive weekly feedback. We hire a student success coordinator in market. This is like a glue piece, a very important role and attribute to our program, because not only are the participants, of course, supported by a facilitator that helps them upskill, we also provide a person in market to help them who supports from a different perspective. Can be that mom or that uncle. We call it mom of the program because our former student success coordinators have been a female, but really a glue and key role that really grows to become a mentor throughout the training. They're also provided a mentor as well at Target. Our training and our previous trainings have been based on Java frameworks, and our participants concluded and onboarded from their training into software engineer roles. And so that's what's unique about our program, is that we're upskilling based on the need of our partner. And this is a specific pipeline that Target has pinpointed. They've created a great entry point for talent with less experience to be able to get experience in the tech sector through non-traditional pathways. And I know our partners will talk more about that shortly. And finally, this culminates with, again, a graduation in that onboarding. And we can actually go to the next slide. So what makes this program different? Really, a lot of it, the main point of difference is that we're reverse engineering from the need of our partner, a Target, who have raised their hand and done something unique and created a pathway in for non-traditional talent. And based on that need, of software engineers, Java skill set, we're upskilling for that need. The average cost, whereas costs for this type of programming range anywhere from 10 up to 20,000. I've seen all different types of numbers. Again, ours is free to the participant. You receive a biweekly stipend. Our program actually has been 10 weeks with our partner. And again, we're training based on the skill set, the need at that organization. So you're getting exposure not only to our partner, to Target, all throughout the training. You have a mentor on the inside, but they're getting great exposure to you as well. So we're fostering trust between you and our partner along the way. The goal is not just in employment and placement, but it's retention. You walk in able to be your whole self. And where you see job placement guaranteed for the participant, that is the goal. Our partners have raised their hand on the front end and said that, hey, we are able to bring on this much talent. And the goal is to get all the talent prepared and ready to onboard at the organization. However, they do have to meet a proficiency bar. And we work really hard on the front end to put those pieces in place, provide all the support for that talent to be ready, as there is still an interview process at the end of our training. So, and lastly, again, supplemental training, technical and foundational or soft skills training is provided to help them leave the program more whole and ready to have that career start in the tech sector. We can go to the next slide. Just a couple of our success stories. This is a gentleman, and I know everybody can read the screen. Got my glasses on, zoom in here, but this is one of our previous graduates. And this is his personal story. You know, before the program, he worked 50+ jobs in dirty, dangerous environments for little pay and no benefits. Frequently worked 3 to 4 jobs simultaneously, all while being homeless and unable to rent a place of his own. This program is important to him because it afforded him the opportunity to be judged on his knowledge and hard work as opposed to his past. And that's another thing I'm sure our partner Target will speak to, is you know, the fact that, you know, degrees weren't necessarily required, and they just really they've removed as many barriers again to create this entry point for non-traditional talent. We have one more story to tell. We can move to the next slide. And this is an actual graduate who was onboarded at Target, Melita Aiton. And you can see her testimony here, which this was the most challenging yet empowering experience she's ever gone through. This program helped her shape the future, and it has changed her life. She's proud to be a part of the Tech family, and I know the Target family as well. So amazing testimonies. This goes back again to our commitment to help shift the tech sector and get people to reimagine tech, again, through our training method, which focuses on underrepresented talent and training them through a non-traditional pathway. That's that T in tech. E, engage, creating, fostering communities between our partners, our graduates, our alumni, all those interested in tech from underrepresented backgrounds. C, change, through these stories, as I've shared a couple stories here, in terms of how this type of training and access and exposure changed their lives, which ultimately helps change hearts and minds. And then H, humanize. You know, it's all about those going through our programming. So if you're interested in tech, this is a place for you. So thank you for that time. And I'll stop and see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, there is some interest coming in. People are wondering, you know, how to stay in touch, how to find out more. I've posted the link to the tech interest form in the chat, so hopefully that will do it. And I also posted the Yes We Code info at yeswecode.org.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, let's turn over. Kashif, do you want to make the introduction to the Target team?
Yeah, absolutely. I know one of our leaders on that side was under the weather. Do we have Kyle? Do we have Megan today?
We got Kyle today, Kashif. I'm here. I figured out the weather.
Superman. This is Kyle Bender, a great partner, and I hope you're feeling well, brother.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So Kashif shared a little bit more about the Dreamcore program and our partnership, and I'm here to talk about that transition from Dreamcore Bootcamp into Target and the program that we've created and how we partner with Dreamcore as participants on board to Target. So Liz, if you could go to the next slide. Awesome. So our partnership with Dreamcore is something that is in constant communication, right? So Kashif talked a lot about us meeting and having a program that ebbs and flows together as needed. So I'm on weekly calls with Kashif, the student success manager, to talk about what's going on in the training and what we can do from Target's end. So it's really this relationship that we have that's always moving forward for what students in the cohort are needing as they're going through that training program. The support that Target lends during the training program is specific to mentors, right? So we set up one-on-one mentors, each of the Dreamcore participants that's going through the boot camp, so we can lend some of that engineering expertise as well as that expertise that comes from working in the corporate environment that you might experience in transitioning to a place like Target. On top of that, we have leaders that do lunch and learn. So we changed a weekly theme for our lunch and learn sessions. Again, that's specific to things at Target that are outside of engineering, right? So it might be diversity and inclusion, or being a technology leader here. It could be on some of those soft skill developments, interning in tech and interviewing in tech, whatever that may be. On top of that, we've developed new training and roles as we continue to diversify our talent pipelines, right? So as Kashif had mentioned, Target is really working to reduce those barriers to entry to our technology organization. So that's specific to things like degrees or specific work experience. So we're really trying to open up our pipeline, our sources for how we hire here at Target. Next slide, please, Liz. Awesome. So the Emerging Engineer program itself is a 12-month program that has a highly structured onboarding, as well as structured mentoring on top of that, and then continued training throughout that 12 months. So that initial month of structured training comes directly from our talent onboarding team. So we have a technical team that is dedicated to onboarding new engineers at Target, in which this group of emerging engineers would go through a classroom style structure where they're in mini pods working on Target's code base, right? So they're learning things like our deployment practices, they're learning how to work in our environment and what they need from a technology standpoint to then go to their specific role and their seat after those 3 weeks. On top of that, they're set up with a mentor as soon as they enter that team at Target, so they have that one-on-one connection as they continue to move into that on-the-job training. The goal of the 12-month program is that post 12 months, they'll stay with that team at Target. So this is not a rotational program. This is a program in which an engineer stays on the team. Our goal for an emerging engineer is really depth over breadth. So rather than having multiple rotations and moving through a lot of different teams, a lot of different technologies, it's to get a really good fundamental skill set in the technologies and the tech stack that they're working in as they onboard to Target. So where do emerging engineers go at Target? So this is a kind of a rough overview of tech at Target. And we've had emerging engineers go into all different areas across the organization. So we don't just have one specific function within tech at Target that emerging engineers go to. They can truly go to any number of our areas within Target. As Kashif had mentioned, the cohort was really specific to Java training and trying to get the bootcamp cohort to have some specific skills that were related to our technical stack at Target. But we do onboard emerging engineers from across organizations with varying levels of Java experience. It could be Python, it could be variations of C. So we are really open just in terms of total languages for what a candidate or an individual brings to the emerging engineer program. Next slide, Liz. Awesome. So the About You. So if you are interested in the Emerging Engineer program here at Target, what you notice is we don't have specific requirements in terms of technology experience. We are truly open for what your background brings to Target as an organization. I think one to highlight is maybe that very last bullet point, and that's an eagerness to learn technologies, programming languages, and full stack engineering. So a lot of times what we're looking for in an emerging engineer is that passion and really what you're interested in and why you want to be involved in the career in technology, and then taking some of those technical things that you've learned at the fundamental level and applying them to problems you haven't seen, right? So how do you take something you've learned in a classroom setting and then apply it to something totally different or totally new? So that's really kind of what we're looking for emerging engineers here. And Kashif's program and the Dreamcore team has done a wonderful job getting the cohort trained to join the emerging engineer program, and we continue to have a successful partnership and run that we plan to do again coming up in 2022. So our next cohort timeline, we're looking at roughly a fall start with our Dreamcore crew for a early 2022 start here at Target. We run roughly one emerging engineer start a year.
You know,
Yes, any questions?
do you hire technologists with previous experience too? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I would say that the emerging engineer program is really broad. So a sampling of backgrounds could be someone making a career shift, right? So maybe they've been in a technical career that wasn't specific to hands-on coding. It could have been something different, right? Or maybe they took a break from technology, went a different career route, and want to get back into it and want to upskill back to that hands-on Java development, or have a different stack experience and want to come into something that's more specific, or want to just continue to grow their skill set. So we do hire candidates for the emerging engineer program that do have a technical background in some capacity.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. Kashif, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I really think that puts a bow on it. I would just, one thing I didn't touch on during my portion is we don't just, as Kyle mentioned, weigh applications solely based on experience. We lean into aptitude and mindset heavily as well, and it's that approach that really gives talent that maybe has some experience, but also some talent, to Kyle's point, that is maybe considering a pivot in their career, maybe has, a growth mindset, curious mindset, has been doing some things on their own, and maybe has developed, enough foundation, which is where our technical assessment and our interview process allows us, and that helps us uncover that talent. But just wanted to just put a flashlight on that experience plus aptitude plus mindset.
Does Dreamcore have any plans to expand to other Minnesota corporations or expand training?
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to. We're here. Ultimately, it really is about our mission, and the mission is to give as much, and actually really to expose, especially underrepresented talent, about opportunities in the future, especially considering all the studies that are out there regarding the future of work. So the workforce is shifting, and as many people as we can expose to opportunities in the tech sector, that's what we're all about. So that means likely more partners, and we're happy to be a part of the solution and helping exposing underrepresented talent to opportunities in the tech sector.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. If I could have you, Kyle, just put a target URL for, like if someone wants more information, is it targetcorp.com? I'm not even quite sure. If you put that there, and Kashif, we've got your information, I believe, that we have in the chat. This has been great. This is, I love hearing about new programs that, that are in development. And I personally really love the part of Dreamcore where it's humanized, injecting soul. I mean, that's a really important value to me. And, I'm just glad to hear about, the values of the program. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
I want to move on and just wrap up the conversation. There have been a lot of great questions coming in. If there's anything else that the speakers on, or I'm sorry, the participants on the program want me to address, put them in the chat to the whole group right now. But I do want to point out that these programs are not just the only programs and companies that are hiring. I went to our National Labor Exchange, our free system, minnesotaworks.net today, typed in a few keywords, coding, software developer. So many Minnesota companies are having open positions right now. Pearson, Wells Fargo, OSI, Oracle, Medtronic, Mayo, Garmin, ICF, Pfizer. There's a lot of hiring that continues to be done. You all know that we have been on our computers quite a bit as far as we're able to over this past year, and I don't see any downturn in that. So please use minnesotaworks.net or go to careerforcemn.com to the job search area and type in a keyword of something that you're looking for. As part of April Technology Month, there's a whole bunch of other events going on. Next week, our Explore Tech Careers, we talk about inclusion. You know, what are some of the other programs like Climb Higher, like DreamWorks, that are opening up the industry to people of all backgrounds, all skills. And then we will also have a couple of companies join us too, and Min Tech Association talks to us about their job boards that they've been building to, again, open up technology and IT careers to everyone. There are a couple of other events going on, both for employers and like top tier aspirations and computing awards going on tomorrow afternoon. And then on April 27th, there's a tech employment job fair. So again, go to that Tech Month webpage for more information. Some non-tech job fairs happening tomorrow. Actually, there's one this afternoon right away. Metro Region Interactive Virtual Career Fair. I will put the link in the chat area. It's not tech specific, it's all industries, but you are all welcome to go on to that. And tomorrow, Thursday morning, let me say, south of the river, that's Dakota County and Scott County. They're also having a job fair. So please jump onto that. Here, just give me a second to put it into the chat area. There you go. And then, you know, we've got the career fair calendar, and I am hearing from employer after employer who are having their own hiring events, who are having walk-up interviewing, you know, a whole bunch of different things to get the word out that they're hiring. So take a look at the job fair. We've put it up. We call it the Trumba calendar behind the scenes, but it's open to everyone in Minnesota area. And let us help you. Let us help you on your job search. Go to careerforcemn.com and put in the chat. I'm sorry, go to the locations. I will put this in the chat. Can't do two things at once. And let us help you with interviewing skills, finding dislocated worker funding that could perhaps pay for some of the training programs. Look over your resume and other events. So please give us a call. And my name's Liz Jennings. You can email me at any time. I'll get all of these links out and the recording out by tomorrow morning. So glad to have all of our speakers on the call today: Sue Wallace, Megan Kirk, Kashif Weisard, and Kyle Bender, to tell us all about your programs. Thank you very much to all of you.